Hello, I believe we should be live now. Hi, how's it going, everyone? This is your boy Mitchell Mander here, coming at you with another live stream. Before I go any further, I think the music's just a slight bit too loud, so I'm going to turn it down slightly. But anyways, how's everyone's day going? How's your weekend going, I should say? Yeah. Anyways, we're going to be talking about Pokémon Horizons Episode 116. Thank you, Pokefan, for clarifying that the stream is working fine. By the way, hello. Anyways, yeah, we're going to be talking about, well, I think you can see the title of this stream. I think you know what this is all about. Now, so, like we do, just an introduction here. So, if you are someone that's brand new to the channel and you're discovering the channel for the first time through this video, more than likely it's from something else, but in the event you're discovering through this channel, just a little bit of what we do here. Usually give it about 5 to 10 minutes for people to start showing up and hanging out. And then after that point, I'll give a brief summary of the episode, give my thoughts about the episode, give a rating to the episode, and then I hand it over to the chat. Usually chat's going, chatting away while I'm doing my summary. And then we go on for roughly an hour, hour and a half. That is the typical length of these streams. Sometimes less, sometimes more, but hour, hour and a half, that's like the sweet spot. So, that's what we like to do here. So yeah. Anywho, I also need to mention here that the music you hear in the background comes from the Video Game Study Lounge from Game Chops. I'll link in the description. It's lo-fi remixes of video game music along with some originals here and there. Just check it out sometime. It's pretty chill. Pokefan says this episode was pretty alright. The battle was good. I know Roy losing is mixed, but I don't mind. Yeah, I'll give my thoughts in a second. Well, when I get to the summary. So, in a few minutes, I'll give my thoughts. I will say I'll try to be brief with the summary, because, like, with this episode, it's kind of one of those episodes where, we're still kind of introducing ourselves to the Blueberry Academy, and we're kind of just getting used to things. Bro Lash Hub, or is it Bro Lash Hub 1559? Hey, what's up? Welcome in. Sorry. I'm doing pretty good, just chilling on a Saturday. Also mention that we usually do these streams at 12 p.m. Eastern Time Zone, but today I was preoccupied, so I had to push this back a little bit today. So, yay. I got what I wanted. Drayton gets mentioned. Yeah, I saw it. That was actually kind of a surprise. Was not expecting that. By the way, how's it going, Thomas? I think my only complaint is that the running gag of Kilo being trash is getting old. Yeah. Which means, Roy, start training the burb up more, please and thanks. Crocodile needs it a little bit more now, too, but yeah. I feel like Roy and Drayton will have a rematch because not everything was shown in the battle that was in the trailer. That's what people were mentioning, so this was more so training. I should emphasize that a lot of these battles, especially like what we've seen, and then Lacey versus Alt versus Lacey, it's really just training for the characters, and they're going up against pretty formidable trainers. These are characters that are the Elite Four of the Blueberry Academy. I don't know if you're going to consider them on the level of the other Elite Four members in the various regions, but they're still pretty strong. Plus in the OP we see Drayton terrestrialize or Ladon, however you pronounce it. The stapler remover, or bridge, whatever form it takes. Okay, but the burb did a lot in this episode, and Crocodile got knocked out a few seconds after without firing back attack. Yep, we'll get into that in just a second. Oh well, if I were just training, then my mindset approach is always way less harsh and critical about when, W's or L's. I notice that people just take some of these training sessions a little bit too seriously, just saying. Like Liko versus her grandma. Am I right? Some reason it was pretty funny seeing Roy losing twice in a row. Yeah, it's kind of a bit of a switch up. We haven't seen that in a while. He's been kind of winning a lot, so I guess that takes him down a peg. About Kilowattrel in this episode. I know, right? What you mean. But I'll leave it at that. Yep. Alright, at the 7-minute mark, I'm going to go ahead and start my summary for this episode so we can kind of get on with it, and then I will resume the chat. But yeah, I have thoughts about this episode, guys. Sort of. At least I try. One can only try. It doesn't hurt to try. Oh boy. Got 8 people here. Before I get started with my summary, I just want to say thank you for joining me today. If you could do me a favor and hit that like button. We're currently sitting at 5 likes. If we can get the 10 likes here pretty soon, that would be pretty cool. Also remember to vote in the poll. Currently got, let me check, 6 votes, and 1 person voted for 10-9, and the rest have been 8-7 so far. I'm really happy that Gimme Ghoul gets to battle in an official against Carmine in the next episode. Me too. And on that note, let's go ahead and talk about this episode. So, yeah. Anyways, a continuation from the previous episode. There's quite a few things going on in the episode. Some stuff not super crazy, but there's moving parts in this episode. Liko and the others go to meet Miss Briere, but they instead meet her assistant, which happens to be Carmine. Yeah, we haven't seen her in a while. It's just, I think it's funny that nobody remembers her, which is kind of funny, but also kind of makes sense since the kids didn't really interact with her at all during that. The one episode she showed up in in part 1 of the Horizon, so. Makes sense that they forgot her, but I thought that was kind of funny. So they go meet up with Briere, who is actually going to be investigating the Strong Spheres. So that's pretty neat. So we'll meet up with her and probably be seeing her in a little while. But anyways, the kids go off. They're supposed to meet up with Lacey and Drayton so they can do their training. But of course, Drayton is not there. He's just being Lacey, and it doesn't make Lacey too happy. But anyways, they proceed. And she actually has recommendations for the kids to basically go and do their training. And I want to say Liko goes to the Savannah area, Dot goes to the coastal area, and then Roy goes to the Canyon area and eventually ends up in the, I think it's the glacial area. I can't remember. I haven't played the Blueberry Academy. I haven't done Blueberry Academy in a while. And Scarlet, that was over a year ago, so I don't remember exactly what biome that one's called, but someone in the chat will probably tell me what it is here, I imagine, or get it right for me. But anyways, that's besides the point. But anyways, they go off, they do their own thing. Just to sum up what everyone does, we'll start with some of the minor ones. Dot actually, it's actually funny because Dot's training, but ends up getting some coins for Gimme Ghoul, and it's funny because Penny actually ends up falling for it. They talked on the phone earlier, and I just think it's funny that Penny was busy earlier, but then suddenly, thanks to Gimme Ghoul, they end up meeting again. Because Penny now got tricked and is giving Gimme Ghoul coins, which I thought was kind of funny. Maybe we'll get a Dot versus Penny rematch soon? Meh, huh? Huh? Polar biome. I knew I could depend on you, Pokefan. Thank you. Anyways, so that's kind of the extent for Dot, really. Liko does her training with her Pokemon. She's actually meets up with Anne, too. And talks to Carmine. And actually, it's kind of interesting because Carmine knows about the Rising Bolt Tacklers and the incident that happened. So she basically warns Liko not to go around telling people that they're part of the Rising Bolt Tacklers because it would probably cause trouble. But I like the fact that Carmine essentially ignores that. He's like, yeah, screw that. Screw those that don't know the full story. So I thought that was kind of neat. Kind of interesting because kind of shows that, yeah, she can be a little angsty, but she's not exactly a bad person. And she can see through the deception that Exceed is spreading about the Rising Bolt Tacklers. So I thought that was kind of a neat part in the episode. A little small part, but I thought it was pretty neat. And then as for Alt, he ends up kind of running off, and Lacey goes after him. He actually, it's interesting. He actually, and I think this is the debut of Overquill, excuse me. I believe this is the first time it appeared in the series. Actually, I don't think it was present at all in the Arceus special. So another Hisuian Pokemon showing up here, so interesting. So much for them being extinct, am I right? But the whole thing about Alt is that Lacey points out that he's basically kind of just going in, and he's going in without a plan, and he's constantly getting himself into trouble. And yeah. Alt doesn't want to really listen, but he actually starts to take her advice a little bit more seriously when he goes into the cave. I believe he ends up fighting a Galvatula, which that's how you pronounce the Pokemon's name. The electric spider. It ends up falling for its trap, but ends up winning. But still, Lacey points out that he still fell for the trap, but kind of shows that he's starting to take some of her advice a little bit. But he's still got a little ways to go. More on Alt in a second, but anyways, when it comes to Roy, he actually ends up coming across Drayton. And Drayton gives him his phone, and he starts doing a bunch of tasks. And I think if I remember correctly, I know it's been a minute since I've done a DLC, but it's a reference to the game where you have to do a bunch of tasks. You have to check out a bunch of tasks, and you get you accumulate points. And Drayton was basically making Roy do his work, which I thought was kind of funny. And Lacey is not okay with that. However, we do get the reveal that Drayton is the grandson of Drayton. BBA point task, yep. But anyways, I was not expecting this. I was not expecting a reference to a character from the previous anime. That happened. Are we gonna get that with Lacey? Is that gonna happen next? So they've been sprinkling some characters that we've met in the previous series here and there. Guess Looker started that trend. Maybe we are kind of far enough in Horizons where they can have some older characters make cameos, but I digress. Anyways, now we move on to Roy versus Drayton properly. Obviously this is training, but it's another double battle. And of course, obviously Roy loses, but he actually does pretty good for the first part of the battle. To the point where Drayton actually realizes he can't go easy on him. So he starts to take the battle a little bit more seriously. I think the main highlight for me is the combination of Draco Meteor and then Kingdra uses Hurricane. but that combination, because like Roy points out, well, because like the whole most of the battle, Crocodile's on Kilowattrel flying around, and they're doing pretty decent. Let's just be real, they're doing pretty decent up to this point. And Roy mentions the fact that, they've dealt with this with Rayquaza, so like this is nothing. However, that combination of Draco Meteor and Hurricane actually throws them for a loop, and ultimately takes Kilowattrel out. My boy Kilowattrel just can't catch a break. But before Drayton even points out also at this point, now it's a 2v1. Now what's Roy gonna do? But before he can really do anything, he was gonna have Crocodile use Stomping Tantrum, and Roy kind of forgot that the arena got frozen over earlier when it started raining. Kind of froze it over, so couldn't really stand still, and then Crocodile got taken out. So I think Roy needs to really pay attention to his surroundings a little bit more. That's what it tells me. And he's also got to think outside the box a little bit too, because he was already used to Rayquaza and Draco Meteor, but now throwing this, this combination of Draco Meteor and Hurricane, he's gonna have to maybe try to overcome this. I thought that was pretty neat what Drayton did there. I do find it interesting that Roy lost 2 double battles like twice in a row. I'm wondering if maybe this is going to be like Roy loses these battles and he starts to kind of think like, hey, if I get into a situation where it's like, 2 versus 2v1 and I'm down to 1 Pokemon, I got to come up with a strategy to try to get myself out of this situation and kind of level the playing field, if you know what I mean. So I'm wondering if that's going to be Roy's training going forward, or just something that he needs to work on. So it's pretty clear that after these 2 battles that Roy, even though he has progressed a lot, he's still got a little ways to go himself. So, and yeah, I don't believe this is going to be our final battle between these 2. I'm pretty sure they might, or not might, I'm pretty sure they're going to face off against each other again. But anywho, the episode ends with Lacey and Alt, and Lacey proposes a battle. So anyways, yeah, that's pretty much the end of this episode. So I thought this episode was okay. There's quite a bit going on in the episode. I wouldn't say that this is like a bad episode by any means, but I wouldn't say this is like an amazing episode. To me, this is probably between a 6 and a 7. It is a standard Pokemon episode. But I do like certain things. I like that, I mentioned this earlier, like Alt is being paired up with Lacey here, and he's getting kind of flustered with her, so I'm wondering if maybe this is going to be something he's going to have to overcome, his shyness towards girls. Not to mention we have the 2 facing off against each other in battle in the next episode, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I do think Roy, he needs to do, like I said, he has to do some training here. It shows that this battle shows that he still has a little ways to go. He also needs to pay attention to his surroundings a little bit more. So hopefully that's something he works on here. And I'm wondering if he's going to come back and actually win against Drayton next time. I think that would be kind of neat. If he kind of learned his lessons and managed to overcome the odds. I'm hoping we get some, like, obviously, I think Roy and Alt had the most focus here. Liko had a little bit. Dot, very little. So, the next episode, it looks like Alt's going to be probably the primary focus this time around. I think Roy kind of got the most focus here. And then Alt second. So, this next episode, it looks like Alt's going to get more focus with his battle against Lacey, but Dot's also going to get focus with her versus Carmine. But yeah. Decent episode. 6 or 7, maybe like 6.5, I'd say for me. Sounds fair. Anyways, what do you guys think in the chat? And speaking of chat, it's time to get back to it. Super Plush Productions, hello. Roy lost pretty badly. He might have lost kind of bad towards the end, but he was doing pretty good for a little bit there. He just kind of slipped up towards the end. Opening, we also see that Anne, Nimona, and Penny might join the Rising Volt Tacklers. I don't know if they're necessarily going to join the Rising Volt Tacklers. It might just be that they're kind of here, you know, since they're like more prominent characters this arc. Well, I want to say I hope so, because like Anne was in the opening for opening 3, and you know, didn't really end up doing a whole lot that arc. So. But we've seen Anne in both of these episodes, so maybe it gives me a slight bit of hope. Yep, BB 8 points tax, yep. If they have a rematch, I can see Crocodile evolve, but I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. We got Sparkles for the episode that's airing on the 28th, so either something's gonna happen in that episode, big, or we're just getting some type of news. That's what those Sparkles mean, I've kind of realized. It's either an important episode that you definitely need to watch for one reason or another, or there's like some type of announcement. Hi Sharon, 8 out of 10. Gotcha. Roy vs. Drayton, but it was pretty short. Was in the latter part of the episode, but yeah. For people that's mad that Kilowattrel got shorted, it took a hit from an Elite Four who is champion level ace. Signature move, so it makes sense, yeah. Was Alt trying to catch a Pokemon? No. I think it's more people are just mad it keeps happening is the issue, truth be told. I just wanted to get like a solid win, like eventually, like at least have it accomplish something, you know? We've seen Crocodile, or Boycoco Crocodile get wins. We've seen Lucario get a couple wins. Give my boy Kilowattrel something. Give him a W. Have him do something. Terrasilize him. Oh my god. Just do it. Do it, Roy. Do something. I like how Roy's Pokemon were wearing shades. Yeah, that was a funny... I like that part of the episode. I mean, I put it in the thumbnail for a reason. Despite the fact that it's pre-battle, I just like the image. Drayton using Kingdra to use Rain Dance to activate its Swift Swim ability. Also put Roy at a disadvantage. Yeah. That is something he will know for next time, though. I think that Nimona will show up halfway through the arc. You think so? You think she'll come back, or... we'll just go back to Paldea or something. I don't think Alt will be lazy. My expectation is he won't. And based on the summary for next week's episode, it sounds like he's going to have a rough time. So I think it's going to be just development for him in the next episode. And maybe he will end up beating her later on. Who knows? I feel like Roy has a good chance at beating Drayton in a rematch, though. As long as he learns his lessons here. They still have not revealed who Liko will battle, so it could be... yeah, we don't know yet. Roy should just sign Kilo up for an Uber at this point. Yeah, pretty much just put him on the job. You know, he could fly around delivering meals and stuff. You know, earn some extra cash on the side for the Rise Volt Tacklers, if you know what I mean. You know how they're always constantly in debt, and they're constantly having to pick up side jobs wherever they go. Sometimes just to kind of, you know, fund the whole adventure. You can just have Kilo just sign up for Uber Eats or like DoorDash or something and be like, hey, I'll send my Kilowattrel over to get your meal. Here you go. Thank you for the money. Now we can actually go to the next region. I feel like Alt will definitely lose the exit drill. So he can take Lacey's training. That is important to him. Yeah, you did see that he did take some of her advice in the episode. So it kind of shows that he's opening up at least a little bit. He's not being as stubborn as he used to be, so it's development. Nico versus Kieran, please and thank you. Horizons. I still want Nico versus Arvin, though, man. But we'll see what happens. No, I don't know what's gonna happen with my boy. He's the one character I like from Scarlet and Violet. Please. Please. Do something. It's like that meme with the picture where the guy is poking something. He's like, do something. Do something. That's me with our Arvin. I like the scene where Lacey's calling Pikachu cute and she holds Captain Pikachu and Captain Pikachu is not thrilled. Wasn't that in the previous episode? I did like that. Okay, this is kind of random, but that when Roy was doing all those tasks for Drayton, there was one part where it said, wash your Pokemon or whatever, and I don't know, I thought Pikachu washing itself, I thought was kind of just funny to see for some reason. Our child Ladon did not get any hits on it. I doubt they will literally spend the entire time at BBA. There is a good chance that they will take breaks and visit other Unova locations. That would be good Kilowattrel episode. I would not mind that, but we'll see what happens. My expectation is we're at Blueberry Academy probably into December is what my current guesstimation is. And then maybe January we'll leave and go to whatever's next. If it did get hit, a hit on it, though, its stamina ability would activate. Ooh. Also, Alt's Dragonite has 2 moves known, and Dragon Rush will be useless in a Lacey fight. And with Hyper Beam, Dragonite will need to turn to recharge. Well, we haven't seen a whole lot of what Dragonite is capable of. At least you can say he showed up, right? Hey, Alexander Cooper. Hi. Hey, how's it going? Welcome in. How you doing? Thanks for joining the chat. Anyways, real quick, it looks like we got 10 people here, so thank you all for being here. If you could do me a favor and hit that like button, I would definitely appreciate it. It'd be cool. And also vote in the poll. We currently are sitting at 9 votes. 1 vote for 10-9 and 6-5, and the rest go to 8-7. I think Alt's Dragonite will reveal the rest of its moveset in the next episode. We'll probably... Unless the battle's short. Kilowattrel becoming an Uber Eats flyer would make a good filler development episode. That actually... I don't know, I just feel like... it's just funny because, you kind of think about it. We've had past episodes where they're like, hey, we gotta stop. We gotta, do some odd jobs here to fund our trip. So it would be kind of like one of those things where hey, Dot streams and gets money from her streams and from her videos or whatever she does. Gets her Poké-Dollars from. Be a Nitto thing. We could have Kilowattrel doing that stuff. It would be kind of like a funny episode, honestly, I feel. It has potential to be funny, but also kind of just one of those things where it gets some type of development too at the same time. It'd just be funny to see. We haven't had a gaggy episode in a while. The Mighty G episodes are probably the most gaggy episodes we've gotten in Horizons. Also did not like how Yoskawad and Charcadet were training and Heterim wanted to battle. Liko did not let her battle because Liko thinks Heterim is just support Mon and can't really battle. Maybe that's something she'll learn in her upcoming battle, maybe? Maybe not to treat it as a complete support all the time. Since Liko caught Charcadet, Heterim has fallen to the sidelines. It's fallen to the sidelines even before that capture, if we're being real. It didn't really do a ton during Rayquaza Rising, for being honest. So yeah. I think that's been kind of just something that's been, it's happened a while back. Yo, Harlster, hey, what's up? How you doing? Welcome. I'm just not expecting her to evolve at all, and I don't mind. It's a little disappointing. I would like it to fully evolve, but, like, it has had no development. Like, at all, recently. It's almost as bad as Kilowattrel at this point. At least Kilowattrel's, participated. At least it did something in this battle. Heterim just shows up. It's like, oh, you heal. Masquerada got a little scratch. Gotta heal it up. Sorry, I forgot to turn on notifications for the stream. No, you're good. How's everyone been? I'm a little tired, actually. Had a little bit of a long day today. Did a lot of work on the house. That's why I couldn't, not house, outside my house, I should say, so didn't have time to, didn't have time to do the stream earlier. But I'm doing it now, so, hey. Yeah, we're just chilling, talking about a potential Kilowattrel episode where it involves him, like, being an Uber Eats delivery burb or whatever Pokemon's equivalent to that, or DoorDash or Grubhub. Just to get some extra money for the Rise and Volt tacklers. So my guess is that Liko will use Masquerade and Charcadet in her double battle. More than likely. At this point, I think Heterim has to evolve to be able to battle. Yeah, probably. That's if it evolves. I will say Roy was doing well. And then Rain Dance came and knocking, and then the joke I made when I saw that picture of the three of them wearing those glasses actually happened. Yeah, it's actually kind of interesting because, like, he was holding his own, like, pretty well. Drayton even mentions that. Which is why at that point it's like, alright, can't hold back on you anymore, so time to basically go all in. And as soon as he did that, the battle just turned against Roy. But I mentioned earlier that I thought it was interesting that when Draco Meteor was being used, I liked how Roy mentioned, like, hey, Kilowattrel, we dealt with this with Rayquaza, we're going to be fine. But then Drayton pulls one up on them and has Kingdra using Hurricane, which basically threw him for a loop, and that's what ultimately led to his downfall. Not to mention using Rain Dance actually froze the playing field, so when Croclar tried to use Stomping Tantrum, yeah, I couldn't really do it because slippery stage. And then from there, pretty much, well, actually, right after that, I got taken out. So that's why I said earlier. I think the lesson here is definitely needs to pay attention to the playing field a little bit more. Maybe you should have had Croclar use Flamethrower on the stage to thaw out the ice. So maybe that's something he picks up in the next battle. And I also think it's interesting that, like, in both of his battles, both Nimona and Drayton both mentioned, hey, it's 2v1 now. What are you going to do? This is where, the one side has, like, the full, the absolute advantage here. So what's your next move? So I'm wondering if it's, like, setting up Roy kind of just learning how to level the playing field here and, you know, come out of that situation. I think that would be a neat lesson for Roy to learn here. Drayton did get a Drayton. You mean Drayton? Did get a mention in this episode, which surprised me. I was not expecting that, but hey, I like to be surprised, so I'll take it. The question is, will Lacey's father be mentioned? Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I think the reason I'm so unbothered about her being a semi-support mon is because I comp Heteran is more support mon than anything. Gotcha. I see people ragging on Roy for letting Kilowattrel for going down to Electroshot, when I don't blame him for that, since he didn't know about this Pokemon or the fact rain makes it not need to recharge. Well, yeah, that's a good point too. Is like another thing is like, whenever these characters are whipping out their, you know, their Rotom phones to kind of look up the Pokemon, they're learning about that Pokemon for the first time, so they don't have that experience. They don't have that knowledge. So they're kind of going into it blind, which makes it really difficult for them to, you know, try to overcome the Pokemon, especially when the user, you know, is you know, an expert. So the odds were kind of stacked against Roy in that situation. It's kind of like with Nemona with Decidueye. Roy didn't expect that at all, and Nemona literally raised it at the Blue Ray Academy. So threw him for a little bit of a loop there too. So the lesson is expect the unexpected. I'm not saying these mons can't fight. It's their roles are just always more support oriented. Gotcha. I saw people clown Kilowattrel for that, but I just ignored those people. I kinda don't really get involved in, like, so I don't really pay attention to the, like, social media, like, really anymore, because it's just complain, so. Sometimes people have some good points, though, but yeah. I don't think the series is beyond criticism, so you know, I welcome both, you know, praises and critiques. That's what I do here. That's what I did with my the series that shall not be named review series. In the next episode, Lacey will quiz Alt. Yep. In the summary, yeah. Kind of wanted Alt to catch that over Quibble. It would have been cool, but there wasn't really enough time for that. I'll say. But yeah, I give this technically a 9 on the poll, but my actual rating for the episode is an 8.5. Gotcha. I kind of more so think it's like closer to a 7 personally, but that's just me, I guess. Since I think this episode was it was good though. Just not my favorite, I'd say. I just hope Alt's Dragonite does not end up like Iris's, where it wins every battle when it didn't listen, but when it starts being obedient, it loses every battle. We'll see what happens, I suppose. I don't think he's going to have such a good time against Lacey in the next episode. I think he's going to have a hard time. You know, Lacey will terrestrialize Excadrill in the next episode. Good luck with that, Alt. I'll say I enjoyed Drayton and Lacey. I like their personalities. I like how, like, Drayton is very laid back and chill, and I like how he just made Roy do all his, you know, his tasks. Definitely the upperclassmen. Roping in the newbie. I like how Lacey kind of just gets I like when she gets angry. It's funny. I don't want Alt's Dragonite to end up like Ash's or Iris's Dragonite, where they were winning every fight, and then when they got nerfed badly, they were losing like every fight. Yeah. Also, that Carmine moment was golden. I loved it. Oh yeah, where they basically like, "Who are you?" Which makes sense. They didn't have any like meaningful interactions with her back then, so I kind of think that was kind of like a nod to that, because like I think the series was aware that the kids didn't really like interact with Carmine at all. They did see her, but they didn't really interact with her back then, so it makes sense for them to have that reaction. We're like, "Who are you again?" Oh yeah, we met her at Kitakami. Do you think Drayton's hair resembles toothpaste? A little bit, I guess. Didn't really think of it that way. Actually, yeah, I do. I'm tired. I'm a little sleepy. I need some dinner here soon, but yeah. Just gonna eat some leftover pizza. Drayton's voice is annoying, though. I was gonna say a lot of people are not a big fan of his voice. I'm not sure how I feel about it myself. I do like him. I do like his character, though, I guess. So I guess that makes up for it a little. Drayton does not care. Makes me think that I'm an off-brand Aquafresh. It makes me think of an off-brand Aquafresh toothpaste. That's funny. I was expecting Drayton to sound deeper. I'm not sure how I was expecting him to sound. Sometimes I wonder how certain characters are going to sound. I think Lacey sounds exactly how I imagined she'd sound. I wonder who their English VAs will be. I want to say Sharami Lee, but she already voiced Kaharu. So yeah, probably not. Alt seen Carmine for the first time, yeah, in which they gave him a more cool chill sounding voice. I mean, he is chill, it's just maybe a little too chill. Love how Bro's just chilling with a popsicle. Yeah, if it was a grape, it would have been a 10 out of 10 delicious, but orange is fine. Yeah, I like both though, but I do like grape. I do agree, Pokefan, I think grape is the best popsicle. They nailed Namona's voice though. I agree, I actually like her VA. I think it just works. I don't know, I guess I don't watch Horizons in the dub, but someone could probably tell me how if her dub VA nails the role or not. Also, after this episode, if I wasn't before, I'm now 100% confident in the notion Alt is getting a new Pokemon. That could happen. That could happen. Maybe Lacey suggests that he diversifies his team a little bit. It could be useful for him. I think Lacey should have a southern drawl voice in the English dub, like she does in Pokemon Masters. Huh. Maybe. Some of the voices in the Masters don't sound like the actual ones in the series, interestingly enough, for some of them. Don't know, but at some point during this arc, yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. I don't watch the dub, so can't. Yeah, same. Just watching Horizons in Japanese. Hey, look, man, I have been watching Pokemon in Japanese, the subs, since like partway through X and Y. So I've been doing this for a while. She is Clay's daughter. Yep. I wonder if we'll get that mentioned. Sorry, I said her father because the name slipped my mind for a moment there. Gotcha. I'm wondering if that's going to be mentioned next because I was surprised they actually mentioned that Drayton is Drayton's grandson. So, I guess we'll see if we get that with Lacey. Don't know. That's to be seen, though. Still surprised that happened. The series has gone out of its way to avoid, like, past characters, so... Maybe it's because the series is, like, you know, approaching 3 years old, that they're maybe a little bit more loose with some past characters, like, just making, like, either just small mentions or, like, that little picture cameo that Looker had. Maybe they're just a little bit more comfortable now with the series having been going on for over 100 episodes that they're fine with this showing up here and there. Since Hisuian Pokemon are not fully extinct in the anime, I could actually see Liko getting Hisuian Gudra. Ooh. Yeah, it's kind of just weird because, like, I like how Dot talked about, if you remember from a year ago, Hisuian Growlithe. And she's like, hey, wait a second. Isn't that Pokemon extinct? And, like, Piran's like, oh, yeah. You're right. And doesn't really elaborate. So it's almost like, I almost want them to do that. Hey, shouldn't this Pokemon be extinct? And then someone over the Blue Air Canyon was like, yeah, you know, that's a good point. They're supposed to be extinct. Anyways. They're not going to address the elephant in the room. Interesting not seeing Kingdra in the water. Yeah, I thought that was neat. I don't think Liko will catch any more Pokemon. I don't know. Yeah, she's got 4. I think she's kind of set at this point. Roy will catch a 4th Pokemon and Alt will catch a 3rd. We'll see about a 4th Pokemon for Roy. We will see. I want someone to get a Hisuian Pokemon, but I wanted one of them too. I remember when people were like, oh, Liko's going to get Hisuian Growlithe from Perrin. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. But we got Charcadet, you know, after roughly 50 episodes after its debut. Someone getting Basculegion. I can't pronounce its name, dude. Would have been so rad. Actually, you know, I wouldn't have minded that, actually. That would have been neat. I just wonder who it would fit. Would it fit Alt the best? Though? What do you think? Do you think Dot will beat Carmine? I don't know. I think it would be really funny if if Dot beat Carmine just because she'll throw a hissy fit. And I think that would be funny. Well, I'm going to hop off and go lay down getting sleepy. Alright, Pokefan. Thank you for chilling with us tonight. Hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Have a good day. More like night at this point, I'd say. Sorry, while my brain farted. What I mean was I wanted one of them to get a Hisuian Pokemon, but I doubt any one of them do. Yeah, I don't think so at this point. We need to see Kieran. I'll be real. Seeing as Carmen came back and she is more prominent in this current arc compared to her one appearance in Rayquaza Rising, I'd say the odds of Kieran appearing in the series have increased, like, by a lot. I mean, at this point, I'd be surprised if he doesn't show up. And I still say, I think that it should be Alt and Kieran being rivals. Like I said, I think it should be Roy and Nimona, Dot and Penny, Alt and Kieran, and then if Arvin decides to actually show up Liko and Arven. The main rivals from the games with these 4 characters, I think they just matches up perfectly. That's just my opinion, though. I really hope they give Carmine a chance to shine because she took L after L against Freed. I mean, let's just be real. She's going up against Freed, so, like, what's she gonna do? But it was just really competing against different festival activities, so... We'll see if she does anything. What is Kieran doing? Last time I checked, he's not at the age where it's a legal requirement to go in, get milk, and never come back. Boy, get here and be ult rival. I guess we'll see what happens. Just saying. I'm just saying. Like I said, Roy and Nimona, Dot and Penny, Liko Arven. The only possible thing I could see is Alt and Kieran. I think that it would be a funny dynamic considering Alt's personality, and we don't know how Kieran would be in the series. Is he gonna be like his shy, like reserved self at the beginning of the DLC, or is he gonna be the edgelord he becomes later on, or is he gonna be a reformed edgelord? I don't know. That's to be seen. I know some people say that Horizons is a sequel to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'm still on the fence about that, seeing as the anime and the games are 2 different universes. But I guess we'll see. Hard to say. You think Kieran will act like how he was in the games where he was so set on winning that it drove him crazy? I don't know. I guess we'll see if they decide to bring him to the series. Like next episode or 2 sort of right now. I don't know about these next few episodes, but like maybe December? There's a possibility we might see him in December. I think it's plausible. You know that episode that's sparkling on the 28th? What if Kieran is the reason why it's sparkling? Because it's revealed that he's showing up here in the next month. Do you think Liko and Roy will ever come to Pokemon Masters EX? I think you asked me this like a couple times already, Sharon. I don't know. I don't play Pokemon Masters EX anymore. I dropped that game like I think over a year ago. I mean, other like Ash and Team Rocket are in the game, but I don't know if Liko and Roy will make an appearance. It'd be nice, but I don't know. I'd say expect the unexpected at this point. That is a good question, Sharon. Which Kieran do we get? Pre-edgy Kieran? Edgy Kieran? Or post-character development Kieran? See, I feel like it would work if we get pre-edgy Kieran, though. With Alt, and then he becomes edgy due to Alt, like, either beating him or just Alt's behavior. And then he becomes edgy. And then as Alt develops, he eventually, I guess, beats him again, and then Kieran starts to get out of his edgelord phase. The problem, though, is how do we fit this all in this series, is my question. We kind of have a major, like, problem going on with, like, Seed and all the strong spirits and stuff that's about to be shipped out to the masses. Who knows, but we'll see. Kind of want to see pre-edgy Kieran. Me too. Kind of want Liko to come to Masters EX, okay. I think there's been so many missed opportunities for this Paldea adaptation. The Treasures of Ruin, Petrarant, and its retainers, and Ogrepun, and so on. Yeah? That's what happens when you do a series that visits all these different regions. I'm just gonna say this. The next series, it needs to take place exclusively in the new region. And then wherever the DLC takes us to. That's it. We had a series where we basically hopped regions like every episode. We have this series where we stay in certain regions for a while. It's cool, but like the current region gets underutilized as a detriment to it all. Granted, Exceed is in Paldea, so that's a good reason to come back to Paldea, is to keep track on them. You know, keep track of what they're doing. But yeah. Petrarunt, I think some people are wondering if it's going to show up here soon, just because some people saw us. I think in the opening they saw some of its food or whatever. So people are wondering if it's going to be showing up here, though. So we'll see. Maybe praise we get Horizon movies for those Pokemon. That would be interesting, but bro, it has been 5 years since we got the last movie. I don't know if like our movie's ever gonna happen, or if it's gonna happen, it's gonna be a while still. I just want one movie for Horizons. I don't need like 3 or 4 movies. Just give me one, and I'm good. What's Kieran's story? I did not play the DLC. To kind of, it's been a minute since I've done the DLC, but to summarize, you meet Carmine and Kieran and Kitakami. You're on a school trip or whatever. I forget. I think there's like, okay, and somebody can probably jump in and say something in chat if I don't remember this correctly. I think Pokefan, if he was here, he'd probably say it. But if I remember correctly, there's like one part in the game where you tell like a small white lie or something. But Kieran takes it like personally, and he wants to catch Ogerpon, and I want to say your character ends up catching it, and he basically just, the whole experience causes him to hate you, and he thinks of himself as just being weak. So then when he goes back to Blueberry Academy, he becomes an edgelord and basically just becomes a jerk, but at the same time he actually becomes pretty competent, becomes champion. And then you have to go through the Elite Four, and then you beat him. He has a mental breakdown because he loses. And then you have a trip where you go to Area Zero, and you go to the bottom of Area Zero, and Terapagos is there, and before you can do anything, Kieran shows up with a Master Ball and catches it. But apparently Terapagos isn't too happy about that and breaks the Master Ball. And then you all have to battle it. And eventually you get Terapagos, and then after all that, Kieran basically is kind of over like everything, and he basically just wants a clean slate to just start your friendship with your playable character over at that point. Obviously, I skipped a lot of details, but that's kind of the gist of what happened. I mean, Mochi was shown in the opening, so maybe that means we will see Petrarunt. Them doing the Mochi Mochi dance in a silly episode. Oh, God. I don't want to cringe, but I feel like that's probably going to happen here. Pokemon games are called Wind and Waves. Maybe. I'm still kind of skeptical on the leaks, but I guess we'll find out in 3 months. Because that's definitely what's going to be announced on Pokemon Day next year. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I agree with you that it would be cool, but we also don't know how it would be done well on screen without extending this arc further. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm going to tell you right now, Horizons, I believe, is less than a year from ending. So we gotta, plan our time accordingly, I guess. So We'll just see how we go this next year with the series. That's why I feel like if it does appear they're either going to adapt Edgy Kieran or post-character development Kieran, which is a shame because pre-Edgy Kieran is the most fun option to choose and adapt. Yeah, especially if if he becomes alt rival, I think there's potential there. Do you think they will do anything with the Mega Dimension DLC in the series? I don't think so, but I guess we'll see. I mean, let's be real. There's like next to nothing for like Legend ZA representation in the series. Mega Dragonite, there's your representation. Even when, Roy went to Kalos, that was pretty much about the extent of it. It's like it wasn't even focused on any of the new Megas, really. Emma did show up, though, but yeah, her role was kind of, minimal. Let's be real. It'd be cool if she did show up in the series in her new design, though. Since it is, that was in the pre-time skip. Just saying. Because I believe she's portrayed as an adult in the series anyways. I think Paldea got good representation. Don't forget the Treasures of Ruin did not get focused because Ren doesn't have any movies. Many legendaries did not get focused, even though it was one region. I would like Koraidon and Miraidon to at least do something in the series. But I don't know what their purpose would be at this point, unless there's like something that involves the end game against Spinel. Like if we had to go back to Area Zero and we meet up with Arvin or something like that, and we learn about his parents or whatever. That'd be the only way to bring them into the series, but I just don't know if we're gonna go that route right now. That being said, if it does end up happening, just be aware that I'm the one that predicted it. Come back to this moment and be like, yep, you called it, Mitchell Mandert. I think Kieran was going through puberty. The hormones could have also caused him to act like that. I feel like he's a little bit, he's maybe a couple years away from that, though. Maybe at least 2 years away from that happening, so I don't know. I love the mochi dance. It's just fun to do. Like I was doing mochi dance earlier today. Oh no, Harlster, no. I'm telling you right now, if I see this in the episode, I will cringe. Imagine Liko, Roy, Alt, and Dot doing the mochi. Oh god, guys, stop. You're putting the idea in my head. Petron don't need to give me any mochi. I do it for free. For free? Oh, good lord. Good lord. Good lord. What is happening in chat? Do we think we will see Mega Zygarde in the final showdown against Spinel? Beats me, Sharon. That would have to one-up the finale of the Team Flare arc if that's the case. Remember, I called that someone will have a shiny Charizard in the next series. Alright, we'll bookmark it. Yeah, I could see us getting Mega Zygarde. Wouldn't be surprised if that happened as one last Legend ZA tie-in. Yeah, we'll see. At least I know it exists. Because I just beat the main game on Wednesday, so yeah. Dude, I didn't realize, but we've been streaming for over an hour, and I just kind of lost track of time. Oh, man. Anyways, if you haven't liked the stream already, yeah, go ahead and like it. What are you waiting for? We are at 7 likes. Can we get to 10 before the stream ends? That'd be cool. Just 3 more likes. Likes. And remember to vote in the poll. We are currently at 12 votes. 10-9 has had a little bit of a comeback, but it's still behind by quite a bit. 33% of the vote. 8-7, 58% overwhelming. 6-5, one person voted 6-5, and then nobody voted lower than 5. Okay, good. It's been a contrast from like the last 2 episodes where someone rated it lower than 5 and didn't say why. I really hope the next series is more chill. I wouldn't mind getting the Pokemon High School series. That could work. I'm just saying this next series, let's just take place in just the current region. Like, these last 2, like, the series that shall not be named in Horizons being multi, region series. I think it works a little bit better in this series compared to the last one, but yeah, I wish there was a little bit more Paldea representation in certain aspects. At least we got to see all the gym leaders this time around, am I right? Am I right? Am I right? Could be worse. We could see Roy catch Rayquaza and Mega Evolving it, and that's not out of the realm of possibility since we do know that Kyogre and Groudon are coming back. Oh boy. Roy catches all 3 of them and becomes undefeatable at that point. Well, yeah, let's just be real. If Roy's getting Rayquaza, if our boy Roy gets Rayquaza, it's over. What's anyone gonna do at that point? It's like, hey guys, I got my level 1000 Rayquaza. Good luck beating it. You need a whole team to go up against it. I mean, the black Rayquaza Mega Evolving would not be a surprise. Would not surprise me. Oh boy. Given whoever the girl is can make special donuts and have colors eerily similar to them, almost like they're exactly for summoning them. Oh boy. Making me hungry for my dinner. People are saying the girl character in DLC looks like a relative of Diantha. She could be. Tulip was robbed. Yeah, Kofu too. At least they exist. I was just hoping that when we were in Mega Voltage, there'd be like an episode where we just go and like help them out, like have an issue where a Pokemon is like under the influence of Requiem under the Strong Spheres or something like that. The Requiem signs. I mean, that was the whole point. When we were in Paldea, Penny was like, hey, look at all these locations that have like Requiem signs. They could have used that to be like, hey, let's go meet up with these 2 for an episode. Would have been nice. Oh well. We still need proper Kofu and Tulip episodes. Yep, exactly. What I was just getting at. At least give us something before the series ends. At least the other gym leaders got something. Kofu was robbed. We didn't get any proper time to spend with them. We got an episode and they were vaguely in. Kofu lost alongside Sango in a battle against Larry, which was a humorous moment. I love that moment just because Sango is Sango and is in character, but Kofu just sat there. He's like, oh, I guess it's too bad for you. And then Tulip just got annoyed with Onyx just because, well, he just lost and didn't care that he lost. So it'd be cool if maybe they got some focus. If Roy actually catches Rayquaza, oh boy, people will go crazy on the internet. Yeah, probably. I'll just be here just chilling, though. They were present, I guess. Yeah, they exist. It's better than not existing, am I right? There's certain characters that just don't exist in the anime. Certain gym leaders in a certain series that shall not be named that are still missing to this day. Then we got one showing up in this series. Huh. I swear. It's like when Go caught Suicune and people were not happy about that on the internet. I mean, controversial for a lot of reasons. But yeah, would prefer not to talk about the series that shall not be named. Just saying. Kofu is one of my favorite gym leaders in Scarlet and Violet too. He has nothing to go. Okay. I obviously can't see me, but like, Larry's all the way up here. Then you have a couple that are in the middle. Then everyone else is down. Larry is the clear like best gym leader in that game by a mile. That's just my opinion, though. Can Pokemon eat people food? I don't know. There he is, a goat. Greatest of all time. Oh, man. It's kind of crazy when I do these streams. It just surprises me how time flies. Like, what do you mean we've already been going on for well over an hour? Anyways, I don't think it'll be that bad, Sharon, just because at least it was set up from practically the beginning, unlike the capture where it was bad with that capture where it was bad with a certain series episodic format. Yeah. It was also very random and just very weird. Also a certain somebody using a Pokeball instead of like an Ultra Ball. Whereas I sit here and do all these status effects and go through 50 Ultra Balls and still can't catch some of these legendaries. Like, bro, come on. People like Iono and Katie also. Hence no setup happened, nor was it attempted. Yeah. So will episode 117 live discussion be next Saturday at 12? That's the plan. I kind of was preoccupied today. It would have been earlier, but I'm kind of got some busy stuff going on at the house this weekend. So couldn't do it. But like I said, if I ever have to rearrange these, I will let you know ahead of time. Like I did yesterday. As I knew by then, I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to be doing this stream at the usual time. To be fair, in Legend Z, I did just throw a heal ball at Deontay with no damage or anything done to it all and caught it. Legend games, you kind of can, somewhat get with it, because, yeah. Did you catch it by surprise, though? Because that gives you a really big advantage of catching mons in those games. Go's Pokeballs were secretly Master Balls. So did he just paint them, just the regular Pokeballs? I believe, except if your name was Dudong. It seemed immune to wanting to get into a ball. Yeah, I know. Dude, and when I played Arceus, almost 4 years ago. Dude, Arceus is almost 4 years old now. What? Anyways, I want to say when I was playing that game, that one was like a fight to get caught. I think I eventually got it, but I just had to keep going back and buying supplies because I just kept running out. Did you like Go as a character? I'm very mixed on the character, I'll just say that. I think he had a lot of potential that was squandered towards the end of the series. But I was never a fan of how he just caught Pokemon Go style, like, for the majority of his captures. It kind of goes against the actual animes, that how it does captures. And granted, Ash caught Caterpie, but we can kind of let that slide because that was his first Pokemon he caught. But yeah. I like that the series goes through bonding with Pokemon before catching them. I think it's nice. I like that the series does that. So when Go kind of goes and catches Pokemon Go style, like most of the time. Yeah, it's not. It just doesn't hit the same. Anyways, also I did not catch. I didn't. No, I didn't. The Carbink. We're not happy campers. Oof. I was not a fan of Go earlier in Horizon. On the Horizon series. You mean the series that shall not be named? It was better than when he did Project Mew, but then Project Mew just fell apart at the end. Anyways, can we not talk about the series that shall not be named? Don't really want to talk about that, really, if I'm being real. Yeah. Oh, hey, Kevin. What's up? I love Kofu. I hope he shows up again. I think he should have been a matchup in Trestle debut. I think so, too. If Alt wanted to do that course, he could actually battle both of those trainers and get it. Am I right? Can we do like a slight detour and do like a quick Trestle course for Alt? And wrap that up in 2 episodes? Is that possible? Is that doable? I don't know. You'd have to get straight to the point with that. A side series where Alt goes through and does a Trestle course for a couple episodes. Wonder what the other 2 BB League people are doing. I don't know. They're in off-screen land. Possibly forever. So they're doing their thing. They're just doing the best they can. Specifically Roy. Would have loved Dot versus Kofu. I wanted that! I was gonna say, when that arc was airing last year, I was like yelling like... I was yelling like everywhere. I was like, dude... Dot versus Kofu. Let it happen. We did get Dot versus Larry, which I thought was pretty nice too, but I think Kofu would have worked better because Dot would have been like, oh, this guy just reminds me of my uncle. And then we see the 2 of them like hanging out and like being chill with one another. I think it would have been cool. Liko versus Tulip would have been nice. I wanted that one too, but oh well. What role do you think the Explorers will play in this arc? Do you think any of them will be in the BB Academy? I don't know. I think if anything, if we actually end up going to Unova, like into like mainland Unova for a little bit, that might be where they strike. Rather the BB Academy themselves. Then again, they already infiltrated the Naraja Academy back in Trestle debut. However, we don't have anybody here currently, so I don't know. That's to be seen. Do you think any of the Explorers will show up in... that's the same question that Kevin just answered. asked Sharon. Banger episode. Hi, Beast Mode God. How you doing? I think we need a small break from the explorers for now. I'd say we kind of just need it. We're doing some training right now, but they'll probably show up at some point here. I don't know if they'll show up like in the next few episodes. We might see them like maybe like plotting or something. I don't know. We'll see. Just for the beginning part of this arc. Yeah, I think for like starting out, we just need to focus on the characters getting their development here and training, and then, you know, introduce explorers, whether it's here or like maybe we go to Unova for like a couple episodes and deal with them there. Means they're going as rivals. That's what I would like. I don't see that anymore at this point. I think the characters, unfortunately, Liko and the others, I think have kind of like are just stronger than them at this point. And they're not exactly like villains anymore, really. Technically, like they're working from within, like Exceed now. They'll eventually probably get caught at some point, but they're essentially like allies now. For being real. I do want to see Agate do more. I mean, my expectation is we're going to be seeing a little bit more of her here soon. Especially as we head towards the end. She's one of the two big bads of the series at this point, so. Also, there's the potential that we might get a betrayal between, you know, Agate and Spinel at some point. There's still potential for that. Also, remember, Hammer actually implied there's something going on with Agate, and he was questioning her, too. Like, why is she doing what she's doing? So maybe there's some hidden depths there that are going to be explored here soon. I don't know. We'll see. I think Amethio will help Liko get the armor for Charcadet to evolve. Probably. Maybe. We'll see. Or her grandma. I don't know. But Roy either needs more Pokemon or for his current ones to evolve. I mean, all he really needs to evolve is just Crocolar. Which could happen. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Maybe I should make that video this week. I think everyone hyper-focuses on Spinel having a Mega Malamar, but I think Agate has one because we still have one hidden Pokemon and she focuses on Psychic types. We'll see what happens. I see people saying Mega Malamar for Spinel, and I do think it would fit him. Are we going to see that at this point? Like, I don't know. Is it in the cards for something like for that to happen? Would be my question. We have a little, like a smidget of Legend ZA like representation of the series, that being literally just Mega Dragonite. So I don't know, unless Emma shows up in her like ZA design. I don't know. We'll see. If he has one, poor Behem, it can only do so much. Oof. I think Agate could be a teacher at BB League, but she's Spinel's second command, won't have time to teach. Yeah, but it seems like the only thing I can say, and I guess in response to that, is how would she be fit in here? Because the characters are literally training with like the upperclassmen. As we know, it's Lacey, Drayton, and Carmine. I don't know about the other Elite Four members. As of right now, I'm not sure if they're going to be making an appearance here or not yet. So how would she fit in, I guess? I mean, she's already infiltrated Naraja Academy as a teacher. And I think a thing that could come up is she'd have to take on a new like Elias or whatever, another fake name, because if she uses the same name she used undercover when she was undercover at Naraja Academy, they're just gonna put 2 and 2 together and make, hey, wait a second, you got a spy amongst you. You got a mole in there, and she'll expose herself. So she'd probably have to be more discreet this time, I guess. Agate could have an Alakazam or yeah. Sigleflif, however you pronounce it. Have you seen animation mistakes in Pokemon and other anime? You've already asked me this before, Sharon. Yes, he has. Sigalith would be fitting Pokemon for her, but also could be realistic electric type because she likes technology. That could work. I will say love that while Gimmighoul has calmed down a bit, it hasn't completely lost its mischievous attitude. Yeah, and Penny fell for it. And all her, being the super intelligent person, ends up falling for Gimmighoul. I guess technically Dot's in the same boat. She's actually the brains of the crew, and she falls for it constantly too, even though it's her own Pokemon that she caught. It is funny. Anyways, I'll just say this, or ask this for one last time here. If you're joining the stream here, you should definitely consider liking the stream. Likes go to help the stream and the algorithm. I think hyping videos is going to be kind of the main thing moving forward, though. I don't know if we'll be able to hype streams at some point, but we'll see. And remember to vote in the poll. Currently 8-7 is winning, but 10-9 is catching up. At 38%, 54% 8-7, and then 8% 6-5. My thoughts is Spinel won't have Mega Malamar because he doesn't care about bonds. He literally experimented his Umbreon and without not knowing the results. Yeah, and we know that Requiem harms Pokemon, so it's pretty clear that he is he doesn't really care about his Pokemon if he's gonna subject them to that. We see Gimmighoul looking at Sinatcha hiding in its pot. Spinel's voice actor in English is amazing. Isn't it Matt Mercer that voices him? Mr. Ganondorf himself, Mr. Vincent Valentine, amongst many other voices hit in Dragon Ball Super, just to name a few. He's a really good VA. Matt Mercer's a really good VA, so it's just funny. He's getting villain roles. It's just funny to me. Yeah, because I was gonna say, like, as soon as I heard him as Ganondorf, I'm like, that's Matt Mercer. Also, Meowscarada and Charcadet dodge flamethrower from a Pyroar. Yeah, I believe so. 97% certain. I'll even look it up right now. We are getting close to the 1.5 hour mark, guys. So I'm gonna check this really quickly. Let's take a look at Bulbapedia, because Bulbapedia is 100% right about everything. There is nothing wrong on this site. He is voiced by Matt Mercer, as I thought. Metheo's voice actor is really good in the dub too. I think it's Damon Mills. I think he's a good VA. He's the current voice of Frieza. Trafalgar Law in One Piece. Nice. We're all just talking about dub VAs now. It's funny. It happens. Overquoval use Barb Barrage on Alt. It happens. Yep, nice stream. And on that note, is there anything else, guys, before we head on out of here? Because we have hit the 1.5 hour mark. Typically, we're done by this point, so Normally I don't stream this late, but kind of was busy earlier, so my apologies. So we'll basically go to like last questions here in the chat now. Do you think Roy's Lucario will Mega Evolve into the new Mega form? Oh. I'm not sure. That would be kind of neat, but we'll see what happens. I have nothing else to say. We'll see you next week. Alright, Sharon. Thank you for chilling with us tonight. I'll see you in the next one. I've got nothing else to say. It's been a fun stream. I also gotta go to bed since it's 2:30 in the morning. Oh my gosh, bro! I'm sorry for keeping you up. I'll promise to do the stream on the normal time next time. I just had to adjust things today. But you go on the bed and we'll see you in the next one. There's a new Mega Lucario form. I'm not really. I didn't really pay attention to the Mega Dimensions DLC trailer. I just looked at it a little bit. I just know that Pokemon are above level 100, but yeah. Gotcha. Sometimes when I stay up that late, I get to a point where I'm just like, I gotta go to sleep. Could also fall asleep too. I have fallen asleep to streams before. It's funny when I wake up in the middle of the night and it's done. I'm like, oh, it ended. I guess time for me to go back to sleep. Based on hearing, there's a rumor about a Lucario getting a new Mega because I find weird he didn't get an existing Mega out of coincidence. I don't know. We'll see. We saw Mega Baxcalibur and Mega Chimicho. Yeah, I saw that. I chose to stay up because I like these discussions when I remember to turn on notifications on. You're good. I was debating whether I should do this at 6 or 7 my time, but I figured 8. I've been doing 8 p.m. streams lately, or all this week besides yesterday. So, figured I'd just stick to just the norm. Been hearing in the leaks, but not officially released yet. Well, just remember, leaks are leaks, and they're subject to change. Whether they're real or not. Am I the only one who hates Mega Chimicho? Do you like it? I saw it. It looks kind of alright. The Megas for ZA have been kind of hit and miss. Some of them are really... It falls between, like, really cool or really lame, is what I see. But I think nothing beats Pyroar's Mega. Good lord, what the heck were they thinking with that one? I'm a Chimicho lover, but was disappointed. I see. Did Baxcalibur really need a Mega? Probably not, but I guess. Mega Starmie is a joke. Yeah, we know. Anyways, guys, is there anything else you guys got regarding this episode, the next episode, or anything? I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap things up here in a minute. I love Mega Chimicho. I actually like it more than Mega Baxcalibur. Gotcha. Mega Vitriol just looked goofy. Yep. But anyways, anything else before we head on out of here? Because I think I'm going to eat and then maybe watch the newest My Hero Academia and Spy X Family episodes. Chimicho, Zygarde, Malamar, and Floette are the ones I didn't like. The rest are really good. Yeah, Floette. Oh my god. I need to clip that still on my stream. I literally said the other day, I'm like, oh my god, it's an abomination. Maybe I should clip that and put that out as a short. It was kind of like one of those like random moments during the stream. I got a clip from my stream the other day for Zelda that I need to do, but maybe I'll do that. If you guys want that, I'll do it. Because I said it in like a monotone voice. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's an abomination. That's up to you. If that's something you guys want, I'll do it. I will do it. I'll let you get to bed. Nice chatting. Alright, I'm not going to bed quite yet. I just need to watch My Hero and Spy. But yeah. Right, I better go now. Enjoy your food. Alright, Harlster, thank you for chilling with us. Poor Pyroard. But yeah, hopefully, yep. Have a good night's sleep, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Poor Pyroar. Megaflora with an umbilical cord is just gross. Ugh. Yeah, that was weird. Alright, see you, Harlster. Thank you for chilling with us. Later, an umbilical cord. Yeah, not the best thing to look at. Maybe I will do that clip. I'll do that clip for you guys. Maybe on Monday or Tuesday I'll put it out. Anyways, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap things up here. Been going on for well over an hour and a half, so yeah, I think this is a good place to end it. I was hoping we get the 10 likes. Still need one more, but oh well. Maybe we'll get it post-stream. Sometimes I get likes post-stream, so whatever. Anyways, gonna end the poll. We ended up with 15 votes. 8-7 wins. 2/3 of the votes. Actually, no. I got my math wrong. What am I saying? 3/5 of the votes. And then 10-9 got 1/3 with 33%. And then one person voted for that 6-5. So that's the end of the polls. I don't know, the math ain't mathin' for me today. Anyways, yeah. I'm hungry now, so I'm gonna go and eat my dinner and then chill and watch some My Hero Academia and Spy X Family. So anyways, guys, if you are still here, thank you so much for joining me. We will be once again streaming a lot this week. I'm in the middle of Age of Imprisonment. I think I'm going to squeeze in a Legends ZA stream maybe on Thursday or something like that, as I am in post-game now. And I think we're going to probably just do that while I'm doing Age of Imprisonment until I'm done with that, and maybe I'll get back. By the time I'm done with that, maybe we'll be at DLC time. Well, we'll see. But anyways, yeah, I'll be streaming a lot this week. I want to try and get a video out too that I've been wanting to do for a minute, so yeah. Anyways, that's all I got for today's stream. So if you're still here, thank you so much for joining me today. Have a great day or night wherever you're at, guys and gals and everyone. And I'll see you all later. Bye now. You're a Morpeko in a hangry mode? Yes, I am, Kevin. And I'm going to get out of hangry mode now by eating. And with that said, have a good day or night wherever you're at, you guys and gals and everyone. I repeated myself. Anyways, I might as well just end it now before I just go on forever. Alright, see you guys. Have a good one.